Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies, and today we're reviewing the latest Goosebumps book in the House of Shivers line, and it is called The Last Sleepover, and it just came out this month by R.L. Stine. So we begin the story with a sister and a brother. The brother's in high school, I guess the sister's in middle school, and they've just moved like 4 blocks away from where they were before, and Lily and Rory are the brother and sister, and Lily has her friend Megan over, and the parents have fixed up they fix up old houses, and they fixed up this one, but it's not they don't have a living from it. I thought that was weird, but anyway, because the father's some kind of salesman. But anyway, they're Mr. and Mrs. Barger, something like that. So anyway, Megan begins to tell them that she's kind of surprised that they moved here, because apparently the house has a reputation that it's a haunted house. So therefore, this whole story is going to be a ghost story that tells you everything, at least about the subject of the story. So she begins to tell the story, and I guess Marco can take it from there.
Who?
Marco.
Who begins to tell the story?
Who begins to tell what he thought about the book.
Oh.
And the story.
No, you said something about telling a story.
Well, I mean, you're,
Well, I don't know. I thought that, I don't know, like, when I started reading it, I just got kind of bored, and I disassociated, and I didn't really, none of it really
Disassociate? So you became a ghost of yourself. And no wonder Bernie was freaking out, because he saw 2 images of you, one real and one a ghostly figure.
None of it really registered with me. I mean, it kind of did here and there, but whenever I get bored listening to these audiobooks, it doesn't register with me. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, in general, and that's the thing about these Goosebumps books, is that if you don't enjoy the story, if you don't enjoy the experience, you can really disassociate, and you can basically come up with the same conclusion still that another person did who really paid attention to the whole thing. Because a lot of Goosebumps books, they start off one way, and they stay that way for the rest of the story. And they never go up or down. They never get better. They never get worse. They just stay that same line, on that same path. And there's very, very few, like, actual things that happen in a Goosebumps book. Or at least nowadays. And, in this book, I mean, you have a story that's like, it's like Beetlejuice, and then they added in a little Ghostbusters in there near the end, and then they took that out, and then at the end it kind of became like a comedy or like a sitcom thing. It was not a great book, but we do appreciate the effort, because we were talking about how wouldn't it be cool if they made a ghost hunting Goosebumps book. That is something that we talked about, and he did that in this book, but oh boy. I think that he thought that it was cool, like the idea of, like, you have a ghost and you have, like, something like that, and then you have the smart home technology. But I think, honestly, it would have been better if he wrote 2 separate books, one about a smart home and one about the ghosts, because I don't think that combination worked out very well. It kind of felt like putting strawberries on a pizza. It kind of a strange combination. Safi, she loved the book. She told me it's like the greatest thing ever.
No,
I was like, wow, I'm really excited.
I reading it better than some of the other ones, which I thought were goofy.
I'm really excited. And then I got to listening, and I was like, oh, God, Safi's got really low standards.
Actually, I thought Marco's his idea about making a story about a smart home, which that could have been a horror story. If you think about the Twilight Zone, it would be interesting.
Well,
Rod Serling, if he had,
Well, Safi, there has been.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There was the Simpsons show.
No, I didn't see that.
They had a Treehouse of Horror episode, and one of the segments, and Safi has seen it. She's lying.
Well, I forgot.
She just
I don't remember it at all.
She doesn't remember anything except for that she loves to eat mushrooms on her pizza. That's the only thing that she knows. We
delivered a mushroom pizza. Was that yesterday or the day before yesterday?
It was yesterday. Safi doesn't even know her real name. All she knows is that she likes mushrooms on pizza.
Oh, cut it out.
But what was I saying?
You were saying that he should have written 2 stories.
Oh, yeah. No. There was a Simpsons segment, and the Simpsons, they had their home turned into a smart home, and Pierce Brosnan voiced the robot home voice. He's the voice of the home. And he becomes in love with Marge, and then he tries to kill Homer so that he can have Marge all to himself. And it's a fun little segment. It's kind of comedic. It's kind of dumb. It's not a great segment, honestly. I watched all the Treehouse of Horrors last year, which was like a living hell to go through all those. And but it was fine. This book, though, it just kind of feels like R.L. Stine, he's at a point where he'll get these, like, little ideas, like, maybe he even listened to our channel, because we were the ones who said he needs to do a ghost hunting book, and he'll get, like, a little idea, like, a ghost hunting book, Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters, this, that, just picks up these, like, little tiny ideas, and kind of sprinkles them all over. Like, I think that the biggest issue with this book was the pacing, because it was 2 hours and 40 minutes to listen to the book, which is like, it's like torture,
Than usual.
Very, very much like a torture experience to listen to an audiobook for that long. And
do it all the time.
Well, Safi has a weird idea of fun.
It's 15 hours long.
Safi enjoys being brainwashed. Safi comes from the days where they used to listen to the radio in the living room for fun.
I don't.
She as a kid.
I'd be like 90.
As a kid, she would gather up and listen to the radio, and Orson Welles comes on and says, "Hello, everybody, I'm Orson Welles.
No.
I'm getting really fat."
Marco is lying. I'm not that old.
You want to hear a story? I'm Orson Welles. That's what Safi likes. That's the kind of entertainment.
I'm not going to go on about why I read audiobooks, but it's because you can do other things.
It all depends on the reader, and this reader was boring. She was very boring. She was very bland and robotic, and I just wanted to shoot myself for 2.5 hours. So, but the thing is that this book had terrible pacing, because there's the scary thing happening. There's a haunting, and it's really scary. Like Beetlejuice is like an hour and 40 minutes. It's like a 2-hour movie. That movie never felt boring. That movie never felt like, I wonder what's going to... But this book feels like it just slows down. They'll have something happen, and then it slows down. And they'll have something happen, and they'll slow down. And what's really funny is that the ending is just like a giant fuck you.
Oh, yeah,
because the ending it just ends. It doesn't even have an actual ending. And then the twist, I will say, I like the fact that the twist didn't change the whole book, because he has a tendency, R.L. Stine, to do like a twist that kind of ruins the whole book.
Well, put somebody in danger, or you never see him again. And that's why I was thinking, I wonder if he's going to do that, because everything we've read before somebody has disappeared, or the story goes over and over, and it repeats itself, or it sets up to do that. And so I was wondering, is he going to end it negatively like he usually does? And
well,
it wasn't negative.
The twist was like
petered out, though.
It was goofy, and it's kind of sad actually, because goofy. The best part of the book was actually the end, when we got a little tiny bit of character development, and they were talking about like, oh well, they're going to do this certain thing that we're not going to say yet, and but then we never get to see them do it, and we never get to see them have like a character experience. It just literally ends.
You gotta wonder too, is it because he's limited?
Probably.
Because of these,
I don't know.
Because these books are only a certain number of pages.
See, that's a pacing problem, because that part should have been the third act. It shouldn't have been the last 5 minutes.
Maybe he should write it as if he's writing a play in acts, and maybe that was
Safi, they do that for everything.
Yeah, but but I felt like it was more drawn out, the story, and you did because you were bored. But I was
very bored.
I kind of liked it, except there was one main thing.
You loved it, Safi.
This is about ghosts.
Safi couldn't stop talking about it. She started spoiling the book when we were walking over to the pool.
Didn't.
You know, she was spoiling the ending and saying,
"That's not true. Never said
I was
anything.
wondering if I could get trapped in the closet too."
And I never said that. There's a ghost, and I've never read a book or seen anything where there's a ghostly portal. And so if you go into a certain closet or a certain something, now I've seen, what was it, that movie about and book about the lion, the wardrobe, the lion, the witch, the whatever, the wardrobe, where there's a hidden world in the closet or behind the mirror. But this isn't like that. This is a portal. So this girl at her own sleepover gets thrown into the closet, and then she disappears into a, quote, ghostly portal.
Now, I have seen that before, but in that particular movie, which was a 70s movie, they never showed what happened to the girls, and then someone else goes missing in the portal, and it's kept very, very mysterious. But even in that story, it was basically just all about like how they're missing and how, what happened to them. But in this, you're just supposed to accept that, like, she stepped into the closet and she disappeared, and she's like, no!
And all the girls who were a, quote, bunch of mean girls that she wanted to be friends with. This is the story that Megan told them. Their parents, they just ran away. Well, they didn't even tell the parents that what happened.
And we should say this too. I think that, this ghost, Emma Lee, she's not Emily, she's Emma Lee.
Right.
I think she's kind of an ungrateful little bitch, because, number one, she'll never have to worry about getting her period. Number two,
oh my God,
she'll never have to worry about going to the doctor or dentist. Number three, she'll never have to work a job. Like, there's so many things she'll never have to worry about, and all she cares about is that there are these people in her house. And the reason why this is a problem is because in Beetlejuice, we get to know these characters and we sympathize with them because they want to live in this house. They don't want to sell it, even though there's pressure for them to sell it. And, they're building the model, and they're a happily married couple. They just got married. They have so much to live for. Whereas this little girl, like, she's a nothing character.
Well, they say they're poor.
Yeah.
And she goes to school, and everybody makes fun of her because, I guess, of her clothes.
So, in a way, she was blessed with this portal.
And the thing is, she disappears into this portal. Her parents didn't know what happened. And then the next day, they look all over the house. The girls left. They left the room. They left trash everywhere. The room was in a disarray. And then they're like, where's our daughter? So they call the girls. The daughter's not with them. And so they go up into the room And then they can, and the girl starts, Emily, she starts talking, and they can hear her. That's the thing with this portal thing. That part of the story is not really developed. And I'm thinking, is that because it's in all these books or movies that I'm just not aware of? Because I've never heard of it.
I think I've only seen, well, there is in a lot of like supernatural movies, you'll have someone go missing in another dimension and they have to be found. You know, like.
Yeah, well, actually, there's been an R.L. Stine story. Remember in The Mirror?
Yeah.
People were in the mirror and then they traded places.
But this is a big problem too with R.L. Stine's Goosebumps books, is that he'll have these major plot items, these major plot devices, and he never explains them. You're just supposed to accept them.
Well, that's what,
and kind of go with it.
I was not happy about that because I thought, well, maybe it's my ignorance. Maybe I just don't.
Safi loved it though.
Maybe I'm naive because I haven't read enough books or seen things on TV about ghostly portals. You know, I used to watch that show Grimm. I've mentioned it in other videos, and at the end they had portals or a portal. And we've seen all kinds of things in Marvel movies. There's portals.
You also watched Medium, and you watched Ghost Whisperer.
Yeah, but I don't remember this portal where you disappear, and then nobody knows what happened to you. And the parents, nothing ever happens. And in fact, you don't even know if the police have been called.
Yeah.
And they just they move. They move out of the house. It's empty. And then when they leave, and her spirit is there in the closet. It's free. The closet with this new family, Lily and Rory, they discover that it's on the third floor. The third floor is boiling like it is right now outside today. And below it, it's cool. But up in this boiling room where the little girl or the young girl lived, slept, the closet is ice cold.
Yeah. That's a big reoccurring thing in the book. A scary thing is that it gets cold. Uh-oh, it's cold around here. That means there's a ghost nearby.
But that's the thing. That part where the evidence of a ghost and there being cold or pennies falling from the ceiling or whatever, that and out of nowhere, that is a common thing in ghost stories. If there's a presence of a ghost, it's really cold, but everything else it's warm.
It's not
average temperature.
It's not played up as like a main element though of like scary things happening.
No, it's not. Not at all. They they accept it like
they
it's
acknowledge
normal.
it. Yeah. They
Yeah,
acknowledge it and move on.
Which is weird because the boy, not only is he really smart, because he sets up the entire house to be a smart house. So no matter what room you're in, you can say, okay, and they call the person who, what is her name? It's like a Siri person.
Alyssa?
Alyssa, that's right. He calls her Alyssa. Open the door, Alyssa. Open the door, Alyssa. Shut the window, Alyssa. Close. Open the window, and etc. So everything, and so he's really smart, I think, to have been able to set up the house like that.
I hate the smart house element of the story.
Well, I do too. That's why I say they should have a separate, because they could have it. This would be like a Twilight Zone, where you set it up and then it goes awry, and it's kind of like a robot, which has been in that movie, Hal the Robot.
Well, that's what
crazy.
that Simpsons was based off of, was the 2001.
Yeah.
They also had a Jimmy Neutron episode, which Jimmy Neutron is really, really good. There's an episode where they go camping, and Jimmy has all these gadgets that are like, it's like a camping, like it's like they're not really camping, they're in an invisible like house, and they have a TV and video games and pizza, and then all of it turns evil at the end, I think. And then there's one where they're having a sleepover actually, and they want to get pizza, and he has a machine that like makes pizza and does all. It's like an entertainment machine, and it turns evil, and so that was a good little story. But this, you know,
so he has too many ideas in it.
Yeah.
Yes, and they do a little Ghostbuster thing.
The Ghostbuster part is terrible.
Well, it's what happens is they invite this famous guy over who's
Doctor
really
Strange.
Morgan Strange, and he is strange.
Doctor Strange.
The whole idea, and he has an quote a collection of ghosts in his house, and it kind of reminds me of this book I was listening to. It's called Under Real Shorts, called The Masked Bride, and this bad guy has a quote collection of women who do certain things.
Oh!
Well, I mean, like...
Safi's reading some kind of weird
No,
sex book.
I haven't read it in months.
Oh!
I was listening. Well, I'm not going to explain, but you can look up the idea of a real short.
Oh!
And it's like this, it's almost like well, they had all these advertisements on YouTube.
Advertisements?
Yeah, well, that's how I found out about it.
Advertisements?
Anyway, I'm not going to get into the story about the Masked Bride.
Oh,
I thought it was really fascinating, though.
Well,
I liked it.
This is another thing, too, is that you can tell how bad this book is because all we're doing is talking about other things.
Well, it's just that...
well,
I don't even know why I brought this up.
Well, a big red flag is that
Morgan
they
Strange.
have that huge part of the book which is all about this Ghostbuster guy, Doctor Strange, and that's a big red flag because normally in Goosebumps books you don't want to have an adult come in and do anything to help.
Yeah, that's an antithetical to writing a children's book.
You want the kids. You want the kids to do it.
That's
you want
right.
the kids to do the ghost hunting.
They say that.
They bring in
books.
They bring in a Ghostbuster, and he does everything for them. And like the only thing that an adult should do is he should help in like a side type of way. And they did that in Bad Hair Day, I guess you could say, because you know the guy was inside the rabbit. Well, at least in the TV episode, you know, and he helped the kid, you know, get his sister back. And of course, he was the bad guy. He did that to trick him. But that was a good example of like how to incorporate an adult into a Goosebumps book. This was not, because he basically took center stage, and then he just left. I don't even know what happened.
It was a red herring.
Oh, okay.
What happened was, he has a collection of ghosts, which is really strange.
Yeah, he said
strange.
He's got ghosts.
And it is weird in his house, and he's weird looking. And he has this one ghost that helps him. So he takes the ghost with him, or the ghost accompanies him to like a ghost quote busting site. And what happens is he brings this thing, just like in Ghostbusters, a little machine or whatever, a little cage, and it's almost like what they show in the movies, Ghostbuster movies. And the other ghost is he and the ghost are supposed to entice Emily, the ghost of that house, out, and then he'll catch it in his little container, like they do in Ghostbusters. So like Marco said, it turns into like a Ghostbusters thing.
Yeah.
But guess what happens? It's a red herring, the whole deal, because they have mice. It's an old house, and we had the same problem in our other house, except we had a cat or cats who would get the mice. But anyway, that's what happens when you live in the country. So anyway, he sees the mouse and he runs away. And I guess the ghost goes with him, of course, because they're, quote, inseparable or something. Wow. And then it's done.
There's
really
bad.
There's no more guy. And that's it. He's scared of mice. He said, "You didn't tell me there were mice in the house." God.
See, I disassociated. I didn't even know that happened.
That's a red herring, because
Safi,
he didn't do anything.
You've just made the book even worse for me. You've taken my grade down, because that's fucking retarded.
Well, it's just nothing. I don't even know why it was in there. He probably could have left that whole thing out.
Cut that whole part out, and it would have been better.
But see, another thing too is the boy Rory.
Yeah.
Not only is he smart,
Isn't he like a prankster or something? Like he scares them or something? I don't know.
Well, he's part of a quote ghost club in school. So here's another part of the story. He's incorporated all these things he's picked up from other Stine.
They should have
from
called
other stories and or books or a movie.
Instead of the Ghost Club, they should just rename themselves to the Virgin Club.
Oh, Marco. So anyway, his ghost club, they have equipment, and you see these if you've ever seen any of these ghost hunting, which we have series. They have all this machinery. They have something to pick up imaging and something to pick up sound. And there's 3 other people in it and Rory, and they come over and they spend the night. And the ghost, it's all well known, even in the public, because Megan, remember, told them about it. Well, she heard from all these other people. So everybody in the town actually knows about this place, except for the people who moved there. Well, the parents, we find out the parents knew, but the kids didn't know.
The parents are stupid, and
yeah, they're very non-helpful.
That's the only thing that I'm glad about in the book is that they're hardly a part of the story. You wouldn't even know the kids have parents because they're
they never mention
not in the story. There's one part though where they're saying something about like your fixation with ghosts isn't healthy,
which is stupid.
And I thought like, wow, you know what is healthy though? Your mom.
Okay. And they come over, and the first place they head to is the basement, because that's where you would usually go in a haunted house. But it's well known the girl's up on the 3rd floor in the closet.
Yeah.
The closet's cold. The rest of the floor, and nobody's gone up there. They haven't fixed up the house past the 2nd floor. And so it's so well known, and the other kids may even know about it, but they start in the basement. Well, there's nothing going on in the basement.
Yeah, a lot of the book seems to just be delaying them actually going up to the closet and having a confrontation. Because as soon as they do, they have a little, interaction, and then...
They have a lot of interaction.
And then everything gets resolved. But then it ends, and we never get to see what happens, and it's like, oh, wow. Read 2 hours and 40 minutes so that it could just end.
We forgot to say that, remember when Megan was telling them about the house, and then of course they wanted to show off Rory's smart house technology and how he was able to rope it in. Well, it ends up, Megan looks out the window, and the ghost takes over Alyssa's roll or whatever, and she she had a long braid, and she shut the window on her braid.
That was like the one scary thing that happened the whole book.
Well, she couldn't get out, and so the only way that they could get her out of the window was to cut off the braid. And so the girl actually had to change her entire hairdo after that, and she was really mad at them because I don't know if she believed about the ghost being there or she just thought that smart house technology went wrong, but she was very mad at them. She wouldn't speak to Willie, but they became friends again. But anyway, I forgot to mention that, but no, that was pretty scary. But they do, the ghost club that comes over there, they do have a negative interference. The ghost says, I want you out of here. This is my house. You don't belong here. Go away. And she starts touching all of them and making their skin so cold that they're almost like they're freezing. Like they're turning into in the Batman game. Remember that? He had Mr. Freeze.
But Safi, this happens only like an hour into the book.
Yeah,
it happens early in the book, and nothing bigger than that ever happens throughout the rest of the book. That's
That's
the
how
only
it wimps
thing.
out on the end.
It's such a wimpy book. It's a lame book. It's a childish book. I'm sick and tired of these Goosebumps books being so babyish.
Yeah, but they are
Stupid.
supposed to be for kids.
Who cares? They never used to be this babyish. The original series have balls, and I think that the balls have been cut off. I
God.
think that R.L. Stine needs to sew his balls back on.
Well, it makes me wonder what he's doing. I mean, what is R.L. Stine doing right now? Is he, set up to write 6 more books of something?
Well, there is one book. It's probably already done, and he's just editing it. And it's going to be released in March of next year. 2 books a year. So March.
Oh, so he already has a contract then to write these books.
It's something like a summer camp with Bigfoot or something. It's like a summer camp story with Bigfoot.
Bigfoot's a big thing on YouTube.
I think it looks fun. I love summer camp stories, so I mean I'm excited for that. But the next one has a really weird generic title that I don't even know what that book is going to be about. So
What's the title?
I can't remember. You can look it up after, and you can go, what is that?
Well, I tried not to even listen to anything about the books.
I think it's disappointing because, it's funny because, Safi doesn't know how to read.
What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding.
We know who can't read, and his name is
No,
D.T.
No. So, but I've read some of the original series. I think half of it or so.
Yeah, Marco's read a lot of the books. I have not.
It's funny because I really hated The Headless Ghost, which was a ghost book, and it was terribly boring. It was hard to listen to, but there's so much about that book that's memorable, and there's so many cool things in it and cool ideas. And it actually felt like a creepy, mature story. But all these new Goosebumps books, they just feel so pussified and babyish and stupid.
Oh my God.
And it's weird because
you don't have to say
the first two.
that.
It's true. The first 2 books in the House of Shivers series, they felt like they're a little bit more adult, and he did that on purpose. Like the Goblin Monday, the guy ate the bird. He ate the bird while it was alive.
I like that.
And then you had the other one where the character had a gun and he was threatening the characters. He was going to kill them. And it's okay, he's starting to grow up a little bit and sew his balls back on. And then he cut them back off again and he did these baby books. I mean, who are these books for? If I was a kid, I'd say, fuck these books. I want to read the originals. And not the censored versions, but the actual originals.
Well, this is why I was wondering what he was doing, because, he did write, I don't know how many, adult books. And we have one, he autographed it. I went to see him, and I'm having allergy problems, but anyway, and you gotta wonder, is there an adult book inside of him? In other words, wouldn't he be happier, more fulfilled if he could really concentrate on, like a Rod Serling adult type story instead of these. Because in the end of this, the only thing I did like was, I mentioned it, they had this kumbaya, I call it a kumbaya moment. You've heard about
well,
that.
it was a rip-off of Thunderbolts.
Ghosts.
It was a rip-off of Thunderbolts, and I think he probably wrote it after he watched Thunderbolts. Because what happens is the main girl goes up to the ghost and she gives her a hug, and then the ghost turns good.
Because she hasn't had a hug in 10 years.
Just like in Thunderbolts. That's exactly what happened in Thunderbolts.
Which was it. That was it. That was the end of the story.
But it was sad because there was this really cool character moment where she, this outcast girl, she was like, I want to have a sleepover with you guys. And we never get to see that. Never get to see them have this human experience. And again, it's not that the whole book needs to be like hardcore, like R-rated adult, but like just put some stuff in there.
Well, not a red herring, that's for sure. Because in doing that, they could have left that whole part out.
The Ghostbusters part, yeah.
Because it didn't. It wasn't good. It was like a red herring, and it was another wimpy thing.
Very wimpy.
Where the guy got scared of a mouse and ran away. And they could have done he could have done at the end. He could have had where she had a sleepover after their kumbaya moment, and the ghost would do, and it wouldn't have been that many more words. In fact, if they cut all that other part out with
why don't other ghosts come out of that portal?
I don't know. Yeah, why? When did it develop? Why? I mean, that's why I said there's nothing about it. How was it developed?
I don't know.
Where did it come from?
Why
that house?
Yeah, usually in these ghost stories, they'll have a part where they say, "Oh, well, this woman got raped and murdered, and so there's a portal to hell where she was murdered." And in this book.
Or it's like Poltergeist, where the houses were built over a cemetery.
No, Indian burial grounds.
Oh, Indian burial ground. Well,
the burial
I thought it was
ground.
A cemetery.
No,
too.
it's the Indians. The Indians were pissed off.
No, I don't
Yeah.
think so. No,
Yeah.
because they'll show
it was the Indian
in the book they
burial
show
grounds.
watches and all kinds of like jewelry. Indians
Poltergeist.
wouldn't have that in Poltergeist.
No, Poltergeist is the Indian burial ground.
I don't know, Marco.
Yeah.
I don't think so. They did
wanna
have
bet?
that in the
Wanna
Indian
bet?
burial ground. Yeah.
Want to bet?
Yeah.
I'll look it
Maybe
up right
both.
now.
Maybe both.
I'll look it up right now. You having some sort of a...
I'm looking at our vents, and they're dirty. And I'm wondering if that's where the mold or the dust is gathering, and they need to be cleaned out. That's a pretty tall one. The one in the bathroom is shorter. I could do it. I'd have to get a screwdriver and unscrew it, but it needs to be cleaned out. I mean, I can see the dirt from here. We have white walls, and so the metal on the vents is white. So I can see inside they're black.
Well,
blackish.
I have terrible allergies today, too. And there's also some kind of mold problem in this room where mold grows all over the place.
No, it grows in the closet.
No, it grows all over the place. It grows on the desk. It grows over there.
Really?
There's some sort of a problem that's going to have to be fixed in the next couple of months because I get allergy headaches like almost every day, have allergy problems almost every day, and it's because of being in this fucking room.
I can hardly breathe, so.
Well, that's what it's like being in this room, and I'm in here all day. So,
You shouldn't be in here all day.
Well, but,
anyway, go ahead.
It says, in Poltergeist, the movie's house, it mistakenly is associated with being on an Indian burial ground.
No, you're lying.
But in reality, it's built on a regular cemetery.
I told you. They show all these jewelry. I remember them. It showed a watch.
The confusion, and this is AI, it says the confusion may stem from the fact that the film touches on the themes of desecration and the haunting of a family home, which are common elements in horror stories involving Indian burial grounds. But it also...
It'd be desecration if it was built on a graveyard, too.
There's parodies.
Both.
The Indian burial ground.
That was in a Buffy show.
You never want to build where the Indians were. Except that's where we all are. Is there like a... Let's see. Well, The Shining was Indian burial ground. Or The Shining was like Indian area. They said that like while they were building the Overlook Hotel, they had to fight the Indians while they were building it. Like the workers had to, pick up a bow and arrow and shoot at the Indians while they're building the hotel. That's pretty hilarious. Like they should have like an origin movie, the Shining origin movie, where it's like we have to build this big hotel for rich people, and we got to fight the Indians as we're building. That's pretty weird. What? That's what they said in the movie.
I don't remember that.
They said they had to fight back. They had to repel Indian attacks while they're building the hotel.
You read the book, right?
No.
I thought you did. You didn't read The Shining?
That was in the movie.
God, I don't remember that.
I remember all of it.
I'm just thinking that the book that came out that was the sequel to The Shining,
The bad book.
if it had mentioned that.
No, I don't think so. That's a bad book.
I did read the book, but I read it really fast. And I haven't read it since.
And I also think this was a real waste of the title, The Last Sleepover. Because
I don't understand what that means.
just imagine what kind of a cool, scary story you could have had with the title The Last Sleepover.
Well, see, that's when you think that it would have been a negative ending, which all of the other ones have. The one where they're, and I don't even know if it was a house of Shivers, where they go into the house and it's a cycle and it goes around. It starts over again and it goes. It seems like it's gonna repeat itself. They go through this whole thing and it starts at the beginning, goes all the way around. And I thought, is this gonna be? And it wasn't the only one. They're all negative. The kids disappear. You have, what was the one where they had a whole class and they disappeared and they turned into zombies?
Well, there's a new one that just came out where a bunch of kids disappeared.
And the two kids, there's two kids, one's visiting the other, and so that one who's visiting is going to be sucked up by
I think
and she does, or he does,
a real
by the zombies.
An underrated ghost movie would be that Terror Tower movie with the Disney movie with Steve Guttenberg.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time.
That's a fun movie. That's
a
fun kids movie.
I might watch that again if I can find it.
They're actually making a remake. They're making a remake with Scarlett Johansson so that she can ruin something else now.
Why would they do that? It was a really good movie.
To make money.
Oh, shoot.
Easy money. Because it's a name brand. But, I think, in thinking about it, you could have had, like, a slasher type of book. But
they would never have done that.
Why not? But no. You could do it in a way. It doesn't matter if it's a children's book. Kids get killed. It happens all the time. Or other stuff happens too.
No.
That's...
No.
Jeffrey Epstein is here with us
Marco.
right now. And he would disagree.
Oh, Marco, don't do that.
He'd say,
Marco.
Safi, I did a lot of things that you don't know about.
That's what he sounded like, too.
I don't know what he sounded like.
That's what he sounded like.
Oh, yeah, there was this recording, but he was doing a testimony, where you...
Well, that's what he sounded like. But anyways, I think they could do like a slasher type of story where they're having a sleepover. It's the last sleepover, and one by one the kids go missing because the ghost is pulling them into the portal.
Yeah, but there you go.
So they go missing one by one.
What's the portal from?
Well, that would be revealed because then you'd have the kids in the portal. And we would see what's actually in the portal and how the portal works. And then at the end, they could all be returned back. But it could be like in the style of a slasher story where maybe they could make you think that they're getting killed off. They could have a creepy neighbor. They could have a pedophile. They could also have a crazy person who escaped the asylum. Like Sideshow Bob or Sideshow Safi. And it could be scary.
Maybe.
That could have worked.
That's the thing, though. Basically, the idea is about the portal.
Yeah, the portal.
There's nothing about the portal in this book. And it bothered me, but I just thought it's my naivete about that everybody, there's portals ghost stories with portals everywhere, and I'm just naive about it. But, so I'm not wrong about that there should have been more about it, because I mean, what does this mean? Every house that you build is going to have a ghostly portal? No.
There's no portal here. I've been in the closet a couple of times, but to
I've been
put stuff in there.
looking for inventory that I've sold and I'm looking for.
There are actually some times where Safi disappears. Like she'll disappear, and it's like, where is she? And then you open up the other room's door, and she's like disappeared inside the closet because she's looking for an item, and she's like in there for like hours and hours. And so she probably disappears.
Since I'm a reseller, I have like items in different parts of the house or the apartment because there's no room. And so I have to, so it just needs to be more organized, but I have tried to organize it somewhat, but it needs to be better than what it is. But anyway, there's some of my quote items are in Marco's room in the closet. So I'll come in here.
Because I have 2 closets.
Yeah, he has 2 closets, which is nice.
Tom Cruise isn't in either of them.
Why would he be in any closet?
He's in his own closet, if you know what I mean.
Oh, God.
He's in the closet. But anyways,
idiot.
Fuck Tom Cruise. I do not endorse Tom Cruise. Or seeing any of his movies. I will never see his movies again in theaters. But anyways, I don't know what to give the book in terms of a grade because
I'm going to give it a B.
It wasn't horrible, but I had trouble paying attention, and I don't have that problem when I'm enjoying a book, even like bad ones like Slappy World. Like I knew what happened in those books, but this one I was just very, very bored. But Safi, go ahead.
Well, I gave it a B, but I still, even at the very beginning when they mentioned this portal, or just the fact that she disappears and she's talking and tells her parents we're looking for her. They don't know where she is. And she says, I'm here. And they can hear her. And so there's nothing more about this portal. And it's just like, that's really a big deal.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate that he kind of, like, he was slower about telling out the story. He let it flow out a little bit slower. He couldn't do too much because, like he said, there's a word limit to these books, I'm sure. And he can't go over it. And so, if he had left out that Ghostbuster crap, which fizzled out and was a red herring because he's afraid of mice, and he has a collection of ghosts at home, and he's using one to entice another one out. I mean, that would be something that might be a little fear bringing or whatever, but you can't introduce a thing to the story about a portal and not have any explanation. They just don't. I just thought I was naive, but they just don't appear out of nowhere. Not everybody has one in their house, and it was there all along. When the other family lived there, this portal was there.
Yeah.
She was in danger of being, or maybe even her parents, of being. I don't know what even falling into it.
In fact,
pulled into it.
I have an even better idea. You could have the portal could be like a wish granting type of thing, where all the stuff that comes out of the portal would be like the reverse of her life, kind of like, I guess, Coraline. I've never seen Coraline, but she could pull out a friend, like a quote-unquote friend who's like a really good friend, but then she turns out to be a demon. She could pull out like money for her parents, and she could get all of these things out of the portal to make her life better. And it would be revealed that like there was like a demon, and they created the portal to tempt a person to like pull stuff out so that eventually they could come out or something. Like that would have been cool. But anything. See, and we're not supposed to write the story. We're not supposed to write the stories.
And that's one complaint that we've had about many things. And
yeah.
where the people who are reading or listening or watching have to, because things are, parts of the plot line are missing, that we feel we have to put something in to make up for the loss.
Yeah.
And he did, it was a complete story, but they're just the quote, the red herring, and then the thing about the portal bothered me the most. So that's why I gave it a B. But I did appreciate that at the end, the two kids that they introduced at the beginning, they don't get killed. They don't disappear too. I thought, he could have gone negative, which he usually does, and they could have disappeared, or one of them could have disappeared in the portal too, and they never see him again. But see, that was another thing, and we did talk about this, where the girl disappears, her family just gives up on them, and they move away.
Yeah.
They don't even call the cops.
We never see them again in the story.
And that's ridiculous. I watch a lot of different YouTube stuff, and you have kids, they're kidnapped. I mean, real stories, real crime stories where some kid has been stolen out of their house, or they go to the park and they get kidnapped, or they're at a fair. I mean, this really happens. And the parents, they show them over the years that they've been looking and doing all this, they put out flyers and
or you have the Casey Anthony case where, we all know what she did.
That's a horrible case. But anyway, just horrible. Anyway, the parents wouldn't just get up and move out and pretend like they never had a daughter.
I guess so.
Come on.
They
really?
just dropped her. They're like, she's one less expense. So I would give the book a C-. I can't give the book a D. It's tempting to give the book a D, but I'm going to be nice because I did appreciate that he wrote like a ghost hunting book, but I think it could have been a lot better. I do think, though, that the potential was there. I didn't like the smart home element, and I didn't like the Ghostbusters element, and I didn't like the ending. Those three things kind of made the book less good.
And the Ghost Club, remember I said they came in...
The Virgin Club.
They had all these, they had this fancy equipment. And then after they spend almost all the time in the basement, which the Ghost's not in the basement, Ghost is upstairs. They go up there and they have all these terrible negative experiences. They're very frightened. They never have the Ghost Club again. They don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre.
Another movie that I like, actually, I watched a very obscure indie movie as a kid called The Ghost Club. And it was a very fun indie movie about these kids who like visited like a grandma or something, and they built a tree house in the forest.
I remember that.
And they discovered that this nurse like lived there with her boyfriend, and then she got killed from a storm or something, and they sold her bracelet on eBay or something. Like, it was a fun movie. Like, ghost stories can be really good, or they can be really bad. And we watched a bad ghost movie this year too. That movie was terrible.
One, the one that
no,
the one
the new
where I
one.
read the book.
The new one.
Oh.
The one about the date rape guy. Remember?
No.
Or no, the guy who's like a serial killer or something, and the Asian girl, the Asian girl and the Asian brother, and the brother saved his sister from the serial killer, and he got killed. He was the ghost the whole movie.
Oh, that.
Yeah. That was really bad. That was really boring.
It was weird. Well, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what's in. I'm wondering. I mean, for some reason, Stephen King doesn't seem to have a problem with it, but I'm thinking if you're contracted as an author to write, and of course, R.L. Stine is he really mainly is a children's book author. When you're contracted to write these many books a year, and they're only allowed to be a certain number of pages, and maybe there's other constrictions too, which I don't know. If that constricts your creativity,
Yeah.
and that you can't really do what needs to be done, or you throw out all these, like you did in this book. You have a ghost club at school, so there are ghost hunters, which is what they do. They come there looking for the girl ghost, and then you have another ghost hunter who's like Ghostbusters, who finds the ghost and traps the ghost. And then you have the kids there, and they just talk to the ghost, and they get it all kumbaya out at the end. And then, of course, the smart house, which really, that should have been another book, like Marco said. So you have all these. So he has all these things, and throwing them out there to maybe get people interested, keep them interested in the story, and. I just think having those limitations on you, those constraints with writing a certain book, certain amount every year, so many words, that constricts your creativity. And you can't really do a proper job. So, anyway, so that's it. Marco says it's a C or something.
C minus.
C minus. I said it's a B.
Why don't you promote our Patreon now, and then we'll sign off.
I'll let you do that.
No, you promote it. You do.
Okay, Marco is making all these movies and shows. He's made one. It's done. It's coming out in October, like around Halloween. And it would be nice to help him. We make these movies, and I've helped by being a chauffeur mainly, and maybe helping him get clothing, like for costumes, at Goodwill. But it's kind of expensive, and I mean it's really hard. We try to make it on a shoestring budget, and he makes all his own side effects and like dripping blood and with the things with the knife. I mean, just really fake things to go in the movie, and he does that all on his own. And so anyway, he set up a Patreon to see if people could help him out with these movies. And I think the thing is, you'll want to see, if you do that, the evidence of what he does, because he's been saying he's making these movies for a while, and nothing's happened. Because, I mean, we have constraints. We have actors who, they can't come, they get sick, or we get them and they're not right.
Then
so
they suck.
We have to get others, and so we pay their mileage. We might pay them food.
Well, it's like you're paying for people to have a vacation, essentially. Like, even though they're not there for a vacation, you're paying people to come in out of town to have a vacation, and so that's the purpose of the Patreon, is to start like adding some more value to these movies and to start helping me get to the next level. But also, we're going to have a ton of bonus videos on there, a ton of stuff that you will not be able to see on our YouTube channel. So, like, exclusive reviews. Safi is going to be reviewing Project Runway and some
watch 3 episodes.
Some year in the future. And we will be doing rankings and stuff like that, commentaries, all sorts of really cool videos, and I will be having behind-the-scenes videos on there, including a vlog that Safi is now a part of, because she is the location czar. And I've never heard of a location czar before. I think it's a very legendary type of vlog, because there has never ever been a location vlog ever before. And we will have the location czar reporting to you guys about her location czaring. So anyways, it is called the Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies Patreon. And that is all. We hope that you sign up, because you will be missing out if you don't. Safi?
Okay, so goodbye, everybody.
What about please like and
And if you
subscribe?
like this video, and if you've read the book, make a comment. Anything. And if you and say like, or if you disliked it. And become one of our members, or just, be a subscriber. We'd appreciate it. Goodbye.
Bye.